Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Ooh, this is a spicy one. So, patch 3.21 is just gone live. Patch notes are short and sweet, but probably sour for a lot of people. So what's going on here? They have enhanced the power of the Doom Tower. The Doom Tower is now literally rocking with hard bosses. So what have they done? They've not changed, by the looks of it, any of the waves. The waves are the same, which for me, I actually personally find the waves have been more difficult than some of the bosses even when you get higher in the tower. But anyway, what's going on here? So they've said, since the release of Doom Tower, we're looking for ways for ways to improve it or tweak it. And we're still working on that for the next rotation. We have made a few changes to the bosses to make them a little less easy to beat with gimmicks. And push them towards strategy. Now, I'm not against this. And I'm going to come on and say what they should do alongside this in a minute. But I'm not against making the bosses actually act in the way they were designed. So at the moment, they don't act in the way that they were designed because we're able to defeat them before any of their abilities even get going, which feels like it's not right. So I kind of get what they're trying to do here. I also understand, though, that there's a lot of people that still struggle with Doom Tower on normal, let alone hard. So I get that some people are going to be upset with this. But what we got here, 3 of the current bosses, Frost Spider, Nether Spider, and Magma Dragon, now have got new passives. Nether Spider is also going to use her second skill right at the start of the fight. It makes it infinitely harder. Infinitely harder because you can't just cheese the Nether Spider before she gets going. All of her spiderlings are going to be out, which means you're going to take a ton of damage right at the start of the fight, and then you've got to control the spiderlings and the spider. Look, personally, I agree with the move. I think it's the right move to do, but they're not enhancing anything you get from the rewards to make the dungeons easier over time. And one of the things I've said in stream a bunch of times, like when I've played other games, what you find is you come into a dungeon for the first time. Let's take World of Warcraft. You go into Karazhan for that first time, and you maybe get past the first boss and you get to the second boss. But the first boss drops loot. And over time, you farm that first boss day in, day out, and you collect your loot, and you get stronger. And as you get stronger, you find it easier to beat the first boss, and then you go on to the second boss, and you beat the second boss because you're stronger. And then you go to the third boss, and you start to compete with the third boss. And eventually, a couple of months later, you get to the final boss, and you're able to actually beat it if you've got a good team and you've got good strategy. And I won't lie, I loved Karazhan in World of Warcraft. I think there's like 11 bosses, each of them their own unique challenge. And you had to think, you had to have the right gear to do it. You had to have people ready to fight. I loved it. The trouble with this is when you consider what's coming out the other end of the dungeon. So even if you're beating the dungeons on normal, the early stages, none of the gear that it's dropping really enhances your chance to beat it next time. So if you can beat the first 4 bosses because they're easier and they've got lower skill caps, the stuff that drops doesn't really push you to the next boss. None of this is changing what I do. The champions, I guess, that you can earn are cool, actually. They are cool champions in terms of from the secret rooms. The rewards here, I don't know, I can even show you them. In here. The rewards are cool, but they are a long way away. Like Archmage, yeah, he's a cool champion, but is Archmage going to help you then beat hard Frost Spider or hard Nether Spider? Don't think he is. I don't think there's really a lot that's dropping out of those champions or the gear that pushes you on to beat these challenges. And that's a fundamental flaw in what they've done with Doom Tower. Because the changing of the bosses, I actually agree with it. I say make their mechanics work as they're supposed to. But the trouble is, if I can't beat it month 1, I probably can't beat it month 2, or month 3, or month 4, because nothing is changing for me in terms of the rewards I get from this endgame content to help me next time. That's the problem. So anyway, let's just get back to what they were doing. So Nether Spider now activates her A2. brood feast at the start of the round, which means that the 4 spiderlings are going to spawn. You're going to take the poison. And we're going to go back to what we originally thought the tactics would need to be. Cleansing those poisons off of your team. Not doing AoE hits to hit those spiderlings. And then there'll be like a slow and steady kill of that spider. You'll need people cleansing your team. You will need people healing your team. And it will be a longer fight. It'll be more drawn out. And you'll need more skill to be able to compete with the Nether Spider. I actually feel like Nether Spider might become the hardest boss. Scarab King, they're keeping the same. It's already a tough boss until you get the strategy down. And then it becomes relatively comfortable. So the Frost Spider then and the Magma Dragon are basically going to have these 2 new passives. I know, all 3 of them actually. Frost Spider, Nether Spider, and Magma Dragon all got this new passive. So damage from skills that scale from max enemy HP, your Cold Hearts, your Septimuses, poison explosions, that type of stuff, cannot exceed 10% of the boss's max HP when attacking the boss. It's a huge change. You know, people were going in there and literally like one-shotting or not one-shotting, but basically killing the spider in no time at all with a couple of Septimuses that they got in their account. So it made it too easy. It basically meant that you weren't fighting the fight at all. So now that you can't do that, every fight is going to have an active section where the bosses are going to be doing their skills. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard. So we kind of just have to come back to the fundamental mechanics of how do we get over these. And I'll be doing some guides over the next few days around. I'll probably go through normal Doom Tower this month instead of hard and put out just rares and like fusible champions, that type of thing. And try and help people get through this. 2 of the current bosses, Frost Spider and Nether Spider, also have another new skill. All turn meter reductions are decreased by 50%. Again, it's really hard. You know, for those that have got there, it doesn't mean that turn meter reduction is not viable, by the way. It's still really viable because you will still need to control the turn meter of these 2 guys, but it becomes harder again. And it says here, that's it. That's the only changes for this patch. So basically, the whole patch is Doom Tower just got hard. So yeah, as I say, I'm not completely against the change, but I do feel like there's a fundamental flaw with Doom Tower in that you could do it for 10 months, complete the whole thing, and I don't think you get any stronger. I don't think any of your teams get stronger for it. And that is, for me, like essential when you create endgame content that's going to challenge people, is there needs to be progressive steps to enhance people's teams, enhance people's gear for doing that content. Otherwise, what's the point? So yeah, I've read a few of the comments. Loads of people are unhappy with this. I get it. So I've got myself to Doom Tower normal, stage 10. What I was thinking to run, because we need to go back to provoking this Magma Dragon now. We can't just blow it up. So someone that a lot of people are going to have because she was available, fusible champion, is Kantra. I feel like Kantra is actually insanely good for this, by the way, if you've got her, because she's got 75% chance of placing a provoke for 1 turn when the enemy's got 5 or more debuffs. If you can load debuffs onto that enemy, then she's going to keep the provokes coming time and time again, get her skills rotating fast. She can't do weak hits, not that she would anyway. And she puts a load of debuffs out herself. So I think she will be good. I would also try and get another provoke champion. As long as this dragon is provoked, it remains a relatively comfortable fight. You just want provoke. You want... so I'm going to throw in a Null Horn as my second champ. You want some speed to rotate through your abilities quick. You want to heal and support your team. So Reliquary Tender's always a good option here. Wherever she is. Reliquary Tender. Probably in a shield set because we know we're going to take some damage. So I've got a reasonable HP, shield set, Reliquary Tender. And then we just want someone who's going to come in and lay poison. Don't forget this is a dragon. Dragons they hate poison. They hate poison damage come up against them. So you're still going to do good work if you bring a poisoner in like your Frozen Banshee or your Kale. So I'm going to run with this. I just feel like the progressive steps of it are what's wrong. So if we go AoE here, we've done a blast through the waves because the waves are actually pretty weak. I think they've yeah, I mean, everyone should be able to get through these level 100 waves if they've got, you know, any sort of team at all. We're going to blow our way through these. It's mainly the boss part I wanted to show you. Keep our abilities for the boss. So, you know, again, like, okay, you want to get yourself to an auto team. Generally, most people would want that. But what I would say is try and make sure that you save your good abilities for when you get onto the dragon. So even if these start hitting us, they're not going to hit us hard. They're weak opponents at this sort of level. So we can just kind of A1 our way through all of this stuff and make sure we've got our big abilities back for when we get on the dragon. I can show you how these are geared after the run. So we get onto the dragon then. It's going to start with a reasonable turn meter. We want speed in our team. We're going to get an initial provoke out 100% with a null horn. And I'm going to get as much poison on it as I can. So poison will be a good way to do damage. I'm going to get debuffs out as much as I can. So I've got one out there. I don't need to put heals on that on yet. So we're going to try and get a decrease attack out as well. Decrease attack is going to reduce the damage that's coming against me. I've got my 5 debuffs up, so Cantra's got a chance to get that provoke off. Put unkillable on me, and then we're just going to get our damage away. I could probably do with actually another debuff in this team, to be honest. I'm going to put the heals out. I mean, obviously we're at low level here, so kind of, you know, I'm going to cakewalk it really. But you'll start to get a feel for provoke goes off there, so it's not going to get our kind of chomp on us, and it's low damage. So I'm going to continue to kind of run my way through the normal side Doom Tower and keep my gear level down and keep my champions as like obtainable as possible. So guys, look, early level is easy. We're going to put some effort in over the next couple of weeks to just try and help people get through normal as best we can. But I don't know, guys. Leave me a comment below. What's your thoughts on this? I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.